I'm terribly sorry about these internet connections, and is, I believe, on a run of his own at the moment. Has a bit of ERS, and Bambino looking to set his competitive lap time as usual, following the Haas very closely as he's holding the opportunity of most of these drivers now in the pits and recovering from their laps. Let's discuss the standings at the moment. So DR 7.146. Crofty's in P3. We have Bambino with a 127.3 in P4. Robin, of course, in P5 with a 127.45. And CI, Saeed, Samet, Jaguar, and Kepler being the rest of the top 10. The Aston Martins in unison, heading out at the same time, trying to work together and hopefully set some competitive lap times together. It seems like Trems and Mini Trems managed to set their lap times after the earlier incidents we saw them get involved in. Trems sitting with a 127.9 in P12 and Mini Trems with a 128.1 in P13. But we'll switch our attention over to DRS and we'll switch our attention over to Landobot and DRS Neil. Landobot currently leading the charge, looks like, through this final few laps. Well, this final lap, really. We saw earlier how possible, but it seems like the roles are reversed now. Landobot now leading the charge, DRS Neil following suit very closely behind him. Samet and Jaguar in the Alpines now also deciding to step out in unison. They seem to be sandwiched at the moment by a Williams of Blurry Julio. So hopefully they can unsandwich themselves relatively soon. And as time winds down, more activity builds in the pit garage as more and more drivers are beginning to slowly head out into the pits and begin their final few runs. We still have a yellow flag in Sector 2. I wish that would pop away for a few seconds so we could have a better idea of... Oh, well, there we go. 2 minutes left to go in the session. No, it is Mini Turns. He's going on an incredibly slow lap at the moment. Might have run out of fuel, but we'll have to see. Landobot now, leading his teammate through the final DRS straight. And we can see a bunch of outlaps on the right side, on the left side of your screen, but we'll keep our attention on the front runners at the moment. Landobot now beginning his run. DRS Neil not too far behind him, utilizing that slipstream that he can pick up from the car in front of him. We'll see what sort of times they can set for each other and who will come out on top at qualifying here at Jeddah. Heading through turn 1 now. Got to keep your car nice and stable as you got to make sure you... Ooh, and as I say nice and stable, he does get a bit squirrely on the exit of that corner. It looks like DRS Neil is trying to stay at the end of the run for both the McLaren drivers. So the McLaren horrors continue, unfortunately. Landobot still on his run, hasn't validated it just as yet. DRS Neil following pursuit. Both drivers seem to be on clean runs themselves, and we can see just how close Landobot is trying to keep it to the... As we watch Landobot, he has to keep that car nice and stable, and just as I say that, unfortunately drives into the wall there, and it's those little tanks that will hinder you through the actual course of the race, damaging your run, heading towards the next corner, and allowing an overtaking opportunity for the drivers behind you. And with 5 seconds left to go, it's going to be the end of qualifying, and that's going to be it for many of these drivers now. All that matters is what sort of lap times are they going to be setting. Blurry Julio, unfortunately, not going to be setting any more lap times himself. Let's say 126.9, good enough to take provisional pole, but then DRS Neil coming through with a 126.7, managing to take pole position away from his teammate, and once again, we have poor connection quality, and ladies and gentlemen, I tried. I really did. I'm terribly sorry. That's unfortunately going to be the end of the stream. I can tell you guys where everybody finishes in qualifying. Crofty is now coming through Sector 2. Doesn't really look like he's maybe going to be fighting for the lead of this race, but I could be wrong. Bambino trying to finish suit at that as well. Though, it does massively annoy me that unfortunately poor connection quality is the reason that why we're going to have to end this stream so shortly. You hate to see it. Blurry Julio, Jaguar, and CI currently in P6, 7, and 8 respectively. That's going to be the end of their run. Saeed Al-Falasi with a fantastic lap time promotes himself up into P3 though. Wish you guys could have seen it. Crofties comes across the line. He doesn't improve. Stays in P4. Bambino now coming through the final corners. Robin actually managing to beat out Saeed and promotes himself up into P3. I didn't see that lap time either, so you guys didn't really miss out on anything. Trems in the Mercedes setting a 127.2 into P3. Bambino now setting a 127.2 into P3. Fantastic lap time. So the top 10 for qualifying will go DRS Neil, Landobot, Big Bambino, Trems, Robin, Saeed Al-Falasi, Crofties, and they took the screen away from me. Brilliant. Alright, well, thank you all for joining me on this fantastic no video stream. I hope you all enjoyed this. I was saying Crofties is in P7, Kepler in P8, Blurry Julio in P9, and Jaguar in P10. But yes, thank you all so much for joining me for this fantastic race. Great footage, great racing. And yeah, I'm terribly sorry, and I'll hopefully see you all next time.